Mr. X, what are your thoughts on Reverend Martin Luther King?
The white man pays Reverend Martin Luther King, subsidize Reverend Martin Luther King, so that Reverend Martin Luther King can go out and teach the Negroes to be defenseless. That's what you mean by nonviolent. Be defenseless in the eyes of one of the most cruel beasts that has walked the face of this earth, and that is the American white man. 100 years ago, they used to put on white sheets and use bloodhounds against Negroes. Now they have traded in the white sheets for the police uniforms, and have traded in the bloodhounds for police dogs, and are still doing the same thing today. And if you think back on how Uncle Tom tried to teach the slaves to love their enemy, to take care of their enemy, you can notice how Martin Luther King does the same thing today. This proves that Martin Luther King is a modern-day Uncle Tom.
Dr. King, do you think what Mr. X is saying is true?
Well, no, because I don't think of love, peace, and nonviolence as a sign of being defenseless. I think of it as a sign of being the more mature race. I teach people not to retaliate because it just makes the situation with the white man worse. I don't want our children and our children's children growing up in a world learning that the opposite race is bad. I don't want all black schools and all white schools. What I want is full integration. I want the next generation to grow up in a world of full equality. I want biracial friendships and biracial relationships. And I can accomplish this if we join hands together and sit at the table of brotherhood, like I said in my speech in Washington a while ago.
Dr. King, as long as segregation exists, integration will never happen. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad doesn't teach us that some white men are devils. He teaches us that all white men are devils, and they have proven it within 400 years of torture to our race. 400. That was before our ancestors were born. Integration could never happen within those 400 years. Dr. King, but it didn't. So why do you think it's going to happen now?
Because I believe it can. For someone who didn't live their life in the South, you sure are quick to judge the white man. In the South, white people are not oppressed. They have their feet on black people's necks, and no one is doing anything about it. If you were to speak that nonsense where I live, you wouldn't make it back to the North, Mr. X. And for your information, not all white men are devils. Let me remind you that white men fought for our freedom in the Civil War, not for the Mexicans' freedom, not for the Asians' freedom, but for our freedom. So if all white men were devils, then we would still be slaves. Think before you say stuff, brother.
So, the judges have decided the score was 3-2, and the winner of the debate is Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.